Maybe you found yourself sitting in your car in your driveway. You've turned the car off and you're ready to go inside, but for some reason, you just can't make yourself do it. There really isn't anything wrong, which is the strangest part of it. Your family is probably inside the house having dinner, but someone is going to ask you about how your day was, or someone's going to need something, and you just cannot walk in. You tell yourself you're tired, and you'll just sit there for a minute. But then 20 minutes go by. Hello, my friends. Welcome back to the Seasons of Joy podcast. I'm Jill Pack, and this episode is entitled 7 Ways Home, Completing the Stress Cycle. Today's episode is for that person in the driveway, or maybe the person who finds themselves lying awake, staring at the ceiling in the middle of the night, wondering why their heart won't slow down. Or maybe it's the person who has noticed that they have been a little snappy for 3 days and they can't seem to figure out why. Maybe I have just described your experience, or it's something similar and you've chalked it up to being tired, which is fair, but there is a very specific kind of tired that I want to talk to you about today. It's the kind that doesn't necessarily come from doing too much. It comes from carrying the weight of something you've never been able to set down. Let's say that you've had a hard conversation and it actually ends pretty well. You said what you needed to say, the other person said what they needed to say, and it doesn't seem like things were left hanging. But then you get in the car, or you go into the next meeting, or you start making dinner, and an hour later your chest is still tight. Maybe your shoulders are all tense and you feel a little shaky. You just feel off. Or maybe there was no big conversation. Maybe it was just a look, a tone of voice, a text that you've read over and over again, trying to decide what it means. Whatever it was, the moment has passed, and yet your body has not moved on. That is what we are going to be talking about today. As I have mentioned before, we all have a part of our brain that is designed to keep us safe, and it is always on. It is always monitoring and scanning the room, the tone, the face across the table, the text on your phone. It is taking cues from what is happening around us and between us. And it is also taking cues from inside of us. This part of our brain never fully turns off. And it is essential because without it, we would not survive. But here is the catch. It cannot really tell the difference between a real threat and a perceived threat or a felt threat. If a tiger is chasing you, this system is exactly what you want. Your breathing speeds up, your muscles get tense and ready to move, your body says run, and you run, and it just might save your life. But speaking in front of a group of people is not a tiger. Someone criticizing you is not a tiger. A hard text from your daughter is not a tiger, but your body does not know that. It sees the danger, and it does the same thing it would do for the tiger. A pounding heart, shallow breathing, tense muscles. This is the same alarm as the tiger, but it is a different kind of fire. As Leah Davidson has said, we are treating burnt toast like a 5-alarm fire. Now you might laugh at that, but we all know the truth of it. Somebody's tone at the grocery store, or a text from your daughter-in-law, a meeting on the calendar that you know is going to be hard. Burnt toast. And your whole body is up on that kitchen chair with a fan waving the smoke away, ready to fight. When we react like it's a 5-alarm fire, we are not being weak or dramatic. That is a body doing exactly what it was built to do. Most of us walk around believing our stress comes from out there, from the person, from the situation, from the text, from the meeting. We say, she stressed me out, or that meeting stressed me out, or my mother-in-law stresses me out. And it feels really true, but it isn't quite the whole picture. The situation, whatever it is, doesn't come straight into your body. It gets filtered first. It passes through your lens. Your lens is made up of every experience you've ever had, every hurt, every history, every story you have told yourself about what things mean, and the state of your nervous system. So the same tone of voice that would slide right off one person hits another person like a gut punch. But this is not because one of them is stronger, but because they are looking through different lenses. The situation comes in, your lens colors it, your body responds. There is a man named Dr. Eric Gentry who says stress is nothing more than a physical reaction to a perceived threat. Now listen to that again, because it's simple, but yet so freeing. Stress is nothing more than a physical reaction to a perceived threat. It is a physical reaction to something that your body decided was a threat. There is actually nothing wrong with you. That physical reaction is real. It's not in your head. Your heart rate goes up, your blood pressure rises, your breathing gets fast and shallow, your pupils dilate, you start to sweat, your blood sugar spikes, your muscles tense. There is extra energy in your body that has nowhere to go. Your digestion changes. Some things speed up and some things shut off. The thinking part of your brain, your higher brain, the part you use to problem solve and to choose your words and to stay kind, that part goes quiet. That is why in the middle of a hard moment, you cannot find that right word, or you say that thing that you actually didn't mean to say, or your mind goes blank. That is a nervous system doing the job it was designed to do, because your body is not trying to help you have this deep, nuanced conversation. It is preparing you to fight or to run or to freeze. We really need this ability, because if a tiger walks into the room, I do not want to stop and analyze and think about my feelings. I want my body to move. The stress response is not the enemy. We need it because it helps us do what we may need to do. Which brings me to something that changed the way I think about all of this. There's a woman named Kelly McGonigal. She is a health psychologist at Stanford, and for years she taught what most of us have been taught, that stress is bad for you, that you should avoid it, that it would shorten your life. And then she came across a study, and it changed her mind. And when I first heard about this study, it changed my mind too. Researchers actually tracked 30,000 adults for 8 years, and they asked them 2 questions. 1, how much stress have you had this year? And do you believe stress is harmful to your health? And here is what they found. People with a lot of stress who also believed stress was harmful to them, they had a much higher risk of dying over those 8 years. But the people who had just as much stress in their lives and did not believe stress was harmful had the lowest risk of dying of anyone in the study. Lower than the high stress group, lower than the low stress group, the lowest of anyone. So think about that for a minute. It was not the stress that was killing people. It was the belief that stress was killing them. Kelly did the math. Over those 8 years, she estimated that about 180,000 Americans died early, not from the stress itself, but from the belief that stress was harming them. If you count it that way, believing stress is bad for you would be roughly the 15th leading cause of death in the country. The story we tell ourselves about the tight chest and the pounding heart matters, maybe as much as the tight chest and pounding heart themselves. If every time your body gears up and you tell yourself something is wrong with you, that you're broken, that you're too much, or that you're falling apart, your body listens. It will stay braced. It stays scared. It stays stuck. But if you can learn to say something different, something like, my body is doing what it was built to do. My body is trying to help me. This is not proof that I'm broken. This is proof that I am alive. Something begins to shift. You will still want to help your body come down. That part is important. Recovery still matters. But you can meet the stress response with kindness instead of alarm, with curiosity instead of fear. Your body is not the problem. It never was. A healthy nervous system has a peak and recovery rhythm. Something stressful happens. Your body activates. Your body does what it needs to do, and then your body comes back down. Peak, recovery, That is not a problem. That is your body doing what it was designed to do. The problem is when we stay peaked, activated, or charged. When we live in the alarm, then the recovery never really happens. This is because our bodies were not built to hold that state for very long. When we stay in fight or flight for days or weeks or years, it slowly and quietly wears us down over time. It shows up in the heart. It shows up in the gut. It shows up in the immune system. It shows up in how often you get sick. It shows up in the amount of sleep that you get or the patience that won't last. It shows up in your relationships, both in the ones with the people you love and the one that you have with yourself. But I also believe it shows up in the relationship that you have with God. Someone who is stuck in the alarm cannot really be present with their partner, or cannot really hear their daughter, or cannot really be kind to themselves in the mirror, or cannot really connect with God or feel the Spirit. They are really trying, but their body is somewhere else. So the question is not, how do I stop the stress response? You do not want to. You need it. The question is, how do I recover? How do I come back down? We do this by completing the stress cycle. Two sisters named Emily and Amelia Nagoski wrote a book called Burnout, and this is the language that they use. The stress response is a cycle. It has a beginning, a middle, and an end. The beginning is the moment your body decides there is a threat. The middle is everything we've just been talking about. The heart racing, the shoulders tightening, the breath speeding up, the thinking brain going quiet. The end is when your body decides you are safe again. The peak, the recovery, the full circle. Removing the stressor is not the same thing as completing the stress cycle. That hard conversation can end. That person can leave the room, or an email can get sent, or the meeting can be over. The stressor is gone, but your body did not get the memo. It is still holding all the energy that your body gathered up to help you fight or run or freeze. That energy has nowhere to go now. Your heart is still up. Your shoulders are still up. Your gut is still off. The stressor has left, but the stress has stayed. This happens in the driveway or in the middle of the night or in those moments of being snappy. Your body needs more than the absence of the threat. It needs a signal. It needs you to tell it in a language that it actually understands, that the danger has passed, that you are okay now, that you can put it down. Completing the stress cycle is how you send that signal. And the good news is that you have another whole system inside of you whose entire job is about coming down. If one part of your body knows how to gear up for danger, another part of your body knows how to signal all is well. Rest and digest. Slow the heart. Deepen the breath. Bring the shoulders down. Turn the thinking brain back on. You cannot be in both states at the same time. Not for one moment. You cannot be geared up and settled at the same time. It's one or the other. A relaxed body is not under stress. A regulated body is not tense. So the whole game here is to learn how to send your body the signal that all is well, that you can come down now. What I've been learning is that we can't just think our way out of this physiological response. Your thoughts are only part of the equation. They really are only about 20% of this process. The other 80% is the communication that goes from your body up to your brain. You have to do something with the body itself. So I want to walk you through 7 ways that you can do this. You don't need to do all 7 of them. You just need one that settles inside of you. So number 1, move. Move your body. Walk around the block. Dance in your kitchen. Shake your arms out like you're flinging water off your fingers. Run up the stairs and back down. You do not have to move for very long. Even just 5 minutes will start to calm you. The reason that this helps is not complicated. Your body was getting ready to run or to fight. When you move, you let it finish. Number 2, breathe. Slow your breath down. Move the breath out longer than the breath in. Breathe in for 4 counts and then breathe out for 8. And you can repeat that. about 3 times. Something then settles inside of you. That is not just in your head. The breath out is the signal. It's telling your body that you are safe now. And number 3, reach out. Not to vent or to try to fix anything, but to just be with someone who is glad that you exist. Sometimes this is a phone call to a sister or a friend. Sometimes it's a spouse who catches you in the kitchen and just looks at you for a second. Being seen, even for a moment, tells your body that you are not alone, that you are safe. Number 4, laugh. Not that polite laugh, but the belly kind, the kind that catches you by surprise. I know we can't force a belly laugh, but you can put yourself near one. Call that friend who always cracks you up. Watch that clip that you've watched 100 times. Let your grandkids show you their trick. You cannot really belly laugh and stay braced at the same time. Your body just knows. Number 5, cry all the way through. Not that little sniffle that you stop, or not that tear that you wipe before someone sees. The whole cry. The one that starts in your chest and ends in a sigh. That big, ugly cry. Somewhere we picked up this idea that crying was a weakness. But it's not. It's a release. It's your body letting go. It's letting the water out. If you can cry all the way through, you almost always feel different on the other side. 6, hug someone for 20 seconds, real seconds. Count them if you have to. Most of the hugs we give are just too fast. It's a quick squeeze here or a shoulder pat there. 20 seconds is long enough that your body finally goes, oh, this person is not going anywhere. I can set this down. Hug your partner, hug your kid if they'll let you, hug your grandbaby. Hold it long enough that it almost gets awkward. That is when it starts to work. And finally, number 7, use your hands. Make something, knead bread, pull weeds, fold warm laundry, chop vegetables, wipe down a counter until it shines. There is something about your hands doing work that brings the rest of you back into your body. Notice what all of these have in common. None of them are thoughts. None of them are decisions. Not one of them is a pep talk. They are all things that you do with your body, because the body is doing 80% of the talking, and the body needs to hear back in its own language. Move, breathe, reach out, laugh, cry, hug, use your hands. 7 ways to send your body the signal. Now, let's go back to that driveway. Most of us, the first time we notice this, we sit there confused. We eventually walk inside and we pretend that we are fine. But once you know what it is, you have somewhere to go. Sometimes it is a walk around the block before you go inside the house. Sometimes it's sitting in the car and breathing until your breath is long and slow. Sometimes it's a phone call to a sister or a friend. Sometimes it's letting the cry happen right there in the front seat all the way through before you get out of the car. This is so simple but powerful. It doesn't take very long, but it will change who walks in that door. Many of us were not taught to care for our bodies this way. We were taught that the real work happens in our minds and in our hearts, that our bodies were just the container. But I don't believe that anymore. Your body is a gift. My body is a gift, and they are on loan. They are holy ground. And the God who made our bodies built this stress thing into them on purpose, to keep you and I alive, to move us, to help us. Walking around the block after a hard moment is a spiritual practice. Letting yourself cry, the big, ugly, all the way through cry, is a spiritual practice. Hugging someone for 20 full seconds is a spiritual practice. This is about taking care of this gift that we've each been given. And here's what I want you to try this week. Notice those moments in your life when you feel exhausted, anxious, or snappy. There's not something wrong with you. It's just your body telling you that the stress cycle is not finished yet. It is still waiting for the all clear signal. And instead of pushing through, just pick one of the things that I shared. Just one. You don't need all 7. Your body will tell you which one it wants. And then trust it. This is what completing the cycle looks like. Not one big fix, but just one small signal that is sent on purpose to your body that has been waiting. So move, breathe, reach out, laugh, cry, hug, use your hands. 7 ways back to yourself. And if today resonated with you, share it with someone, just one person, the friend, the sister, the daughter-in-law who has been sitting in her own driveway, not knowing why. And if you're ready to go, if you're ready to do this work at a deeper level, that's what coaching is for. And you can find me at seasons-coaching.com.